Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Michelle. I have been sharing a lot of updates on my health, and I'm trying to keep sharing them in order to keep track of kind of where I'm at, and also to help people who can relate to just some of the things I'm going through. And so last week I talked a little bit about yeast infection, because that's kind of what I thought I had, but the more I delved into some research, it doesn't necessarily correlate with that. And I'm just going to share some of my symptoms. This is TMI. If you're a guy, I do not necessarily recommend this. However, I do know men do suffer with a lot of the issues I have, and some of them are Lyme disease, SIBO, reactivated Epstein-Barr virus, and H. pylori. I do know, like I said, this is a broad amount of things, but this specific topic here, I think really has to do with females. Anyways, back to what I was talking about. So some of my symptoms were dryness and itchiness, and that tends to lead more towards BV, which is bacterial vaginosis. And I'm still not sure. I did order some things in order to test at home. I really prefer not to go to regular doctors, and I do see a functional medical practitioner. However, every appointment that I have with her takes away, I only have so many, and so I try to reserve them for tests and things that I just absolutely need a follow-up for, and I feel like this right here can be handled at home. And so I'll just talk about kind of what I have figured out so far and what is helping me. I did talk about using yogurt and down there in order to soothe it, and that has been a really big help. But since I'm not producing any bodily fluids, I decided to do some research and see what could help with that, because I tend to run dry, and I think it just got to the point where it's just too dry, and so my body its pH is completely off balance. And so I'm trying to bring it back to that place and help my body to produce its own bodily fluids, because I'm not in menopause yet. I'm 35. And I do know for some women, they can go through menopause at a young age. However, I know I'm not there because I regularly have a cycle. And I'll talk a little bit more about that. But what I did find was taking Slippery Elm. I tend to buy from bulk supplements because they have no extra added ingredients. It's in a powder form. And so I just add 1/4 of a teaspoon of their Slippery Elm extract, and I honestly cannot believe how well it works. They actually sell capsules to take for this problem, and like I said, it works amazingly well. I have normal bodily fluids again, and I don't know if I will have to keep taking this in order to maintain that, but for now I'm just going to maintain it so that I can return my body to, like I said, a normal pH down there. And then another thing I started taking, because my periods were really close together, and some of the symptoms I'm experiencing are similar to menopause, but like I said, I know I'm not there. But I am taking Chaste Berry extract, which is supposed to help you regulate your hormones. And I think I started that maybe a week or two ago. And I don't know if this contributed to it or not, but my periods have spaced out from a 22 to 23 day cycle to a 30-day cycle. And growing up, I used to be a 35-day cycle kind of person. And honestly, that was my favorite. And throughout this entire process of being sick, my cycles went down from anywhere to 14 days to, in the 20s. I could never make it, maybe 21 days. Like, that was the broadest span that I would have. And so if you're understanding that, that was like, I would get my period, and once my period was over, within a week to 2 weeks, I was on my period again. And I really believe foods could trigger a period. Like, if I eat wheat, my cycle will come literally in a few days, or I'll start spotting or something. I'm not sure why that happens. I do want to mention, I also take the Slippery Elm 2 times a day. I do know some people take it 3 times a day. However, right now I'm just doing it 2 times a day. And the Chaste Berry extract, I take this twice a day. And for now, I'm just going to continue taking it to help my body. Another thing, and that I know has happened from the past, is that if I stay off of dairy and wheat and sugar and grains, my cycle will regulate itself, and I've been able to bring it to a 28-day cycle, never to a 30. So I'm really excited about this, and I'm assuming the Chaste Berry has something to do with that. But the diet that I am on is called E2M, and it's only online and through a Facebook group, but you find their website and you register with them, and then you join the Facebook group. I'm not really on the Facebook group much. I just take what they recommend to eat in order to lose weight. In the 8-week period that I did this, I lost 10 pounds, and I'm really happy about that, because if you've been following me, I gain weight really easily. I typically don't lose weight, and I've tried keto, I've tried carnivore, and my weight just kind of wants to stay. I've done OMAD, but I think the calories maybe were just too high, because on carnivore, I mean, you just eat meat and we're reducing inflammation. However, the calories can be up there because you're encouraged to eat, you know, the meat and the fat. And then on keto, even though my portions were right, and I think my calories, I kept them at like 1400, but for my body, for some reason, that's still a lot of food to process. And so where I'm at right now with the E2M is you basically get servings. I can't share a lot of it because unless you're a part of the group, you're not supposed to share how the diet completely works, or, you know, the foods. But what I can tell you is it's 100% clean. The portions are perfect for my body. They give you exercises to do, several different types of videos to be able to meet you where you're at. And honestly, if you have difficulty losing weight and you want something that helps you with diet, exercise, I would totally recommend this. I don't exercise yet because of my reactivated Epstein-Barr virus. I am trying to wait a while until my body brings itself back to a place where it has energy in order to slowly introduce exercise. And that is kind of where I'm at right now, where I have more energy. I'm not tired. I can get up and go. I can drive. I can do things. Typically, I'm tired when I drive if it's too much. I don't like to go all day. I have been able to do that, except for right about when my cycle comes, I tend to need a nap, and I'm getting mild headaches, which is normal for me. However, normally the headaches are almost like migraines, and I haven't had one yet. It just kind of is a little bit of pain, but it's nothing I can't handle. And so I'm super excited in the direction my body is going in and where I'm at in the healing process. I do like to do things really naturally. And so one of the reasons I am where I am with the issues I'm having with the, whether it's yeast or BV, is that I took antibiotics in order to try to treat my SIBO, and it didn't completely work. Like, it relieved a lot of my symptoms while I was on it, but afterwards everything just came back. And so that's where I am with that. And I am taking Dr. Clark's Parasite cleanse, and I am maybe almost halfway through it. And so I won't know completely how I feel until I'm done. But I did mention in my last video that I intend on taking at least 3 rounds of it, because I've done it before and I felt amazing towards the end. But once I finished that, it all came back. So it was kind of like the same with the antibiotics. So I'm hoping by doing 3 rounds of it, that whatever's going on in my body, bacterial, or I don't really think I have parasites, because I took a stool test and they tested for it, and I was completely without those. One other really important thing I wanted to mention is that right around the time when I get my cycle, my digestive system stops working, and I'm not completely sure why that happens. But basically, when I eat, the food sits in my stomach for a really long time and takes a while to leave. And when that happens, I get really sleepy, and I literally feel somewhat kind of intoxicated in a way. And so I'll lay down and I pretty much crash for a little while. And when I wake up, I feel some better, but this also brings on headaches, which could be a reason right now why I have a headache. And as far as my bowel movements and everything, I'm not completely sure where I am with that, because I take magnesium regardless in order to help my body just to stay regular. And so I don't know, if I didn't take that, if I would even work at all or a little bit in that area. So I just want to throw that out there because, like I said, it happens every single month, and there's nothing that I found that I can do about it. And I'm hoping with regulating my hormones that maybe my stomach won't do that. During one of my pregnancies I had, which was my last one, was that when I would eat, the food would sit in my stomach and then I would throw up and I couldn't keep anything down. I was super dehydrated. I was hospitalized. And then when my food would finally go down, I would have to fall asleep. And it was weird because I knew when I was going to digest my food and keep it, because I actually, like I said, I would get super sleepy, and it was really like I had no choice. I was going to fall asleep. That's how sleepy I get. And when I would wake up, I would have digested that food. And something else that was really interesting, that even though I was throwing up literally 20 times a day or more, I gained weight. And like my body had no problem keeping on the weight, but I could not even lose the weight afterwards. So it's just really interesting how my body doesn't need many calories to gain weight or to keep the weight on. And I think part of that has to do with me not digesting my food really well. During these times when my food doesn't digest well, I try to avoid meat and only eat basically salads and pecans, pumpkin seeds, just things that are really light. However, I do okay with some fat, so I will make some salad dressings, and that's helpful. But the red meats, white meats, like anything heavy, that I guess the animal protein just takes a really long time to leave my stomach. And so the more I avoid that, the better I do. I don't get my sleepy spells. And I notice I do really well with the pecans and peanuts, not so well during this time. However, I can have a small amount of peanuts, just not like the cupful of pecans I can have. So some difference there for me. Managing my diet at this time is crucial because this is where I sometimes have experienced myself getting gastritis, because my digestive system slows down, it stops, and I have food sitting in my stomach. And when your food sits in your stomach, the bile also sits in there, and it begins to start damaging the stomach lining. And so I definitely don't want gastritis. If you follow me for a while, you'll know that that has been something I've dealt with on and off. And I'm at a place where I have not had it for quite some time, and I don't ever want to have it back because the anxiety that comes with my gastritis is just really scary, and I don't ever want to be there. And so that's why I'm tracking this, following this, and working on avoiding it. My anxiety at this moment is fine. I'm not in a bad place at all. Every day it seems to get a little bit better, and you know, there are things that can trigger it. However, the anxiety doesn't stay there and linger all day. You know, I have periods of not having it, but when it's triggered, it's very mild. So it's definitely more of a manageable type of anxiety, and it could even just be, oh, I got nervous because of something, and you know, not a big deal. All right, well, I've rambled on long enough. I will see y'all in my next video, and thanks for watching. Bye.